Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world. Good morning.
Good morning. We had a doozy for you. We actually started the show without starting the show because we all started talking about the one of the topics at hand in regards to data centers. But before I get into that, like usual, just a reminder: like, comment, and subscribe. If there's anything that catches your eye, any conversation that you feel like is worth talking about and that you really enjoyed, go ahead. If you have not, you could also call in and I just let the widget speak for itself right here. Must be 18 years or older, but call into the show. All you got to do is take a screenshot of this, hit the QR code, tap the QR code, and a link will pop up. And then you can be able to join the show that way and share your thoughts. Must be, again, 18 years or older to do that. And so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But right before we do that, wanted to give a lot of shout out to our brother, Tech Coach Ralph, uh, who is actually right now about to be playing some pickleball. So he actually commented early on, and he basically said, "Listen, y'all, I will see if I can chime in between sets, basically." And so I just want to shout him out real quick. Tell him thank you for rocking with us. If you are a pickleball enthusiast, let us know in the chat as well. We appreciate y'all. And like always, at the end of the show, we'll shout you out. If we have, especially if we got time, we'll shout you out for commenting. And so go ahead and leave your comments below. But we're gonna dive right
Yep,
into
yep.
the comments. Yes, sir. Sorry, Trey. Go ahead. What do you say?
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah. Get in there, chime in there.
All right, awesome. Now, listen, y'all. We This is something that's been popping up all weekend, so we got to talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts about it, but I'm gonna pass the Trey to talk about a little bit more about what exactly is going on there with OpenAI and what happens when AI stops asking for permission.
Yeah, this is wild. OpenAI, they have an AI model, all right, and it's still in development, and it's called Astra. Now, when they were doing some internal testing, Astra crossed the line. It crossed the line big time. All right. Now, OpenAI, they've been watching for let me see. They've crossed the line that OpenAI has actually been looking for since
Mm.
2023. So they've been thinking about this for a while now, and it actually happened. All right. Critical cybersecurity capability. Now, in simple terms, as far as as we can put it, Astra showed the ability to independently find vulnerabilities. Like, okay, cool, great. Plan an attack, awesome. Exploit those vulnerabilities, carry out multiple steps of operation, all without human directing every move. So basically, they just kick back in the seat again, just watching it do what it do, and it's doing it well. Okay, but OpenAI responded by slowing parts of Astra's development and then increasing security around the model. Now, um, here's what we really were want to try and focus in on a little bit, anyways, at least me. Um, they told everybody the model isn't even publicly available yet. Okay, so it's not even publicly available yet, but they letting everybody know because this is what happened. Now, what does critical cybersecurity threshold actually mean? Now, this is important because we're starting to throw around words like, dangerous AI, etc., and not very many people are explaining what they mean when they say that. And so, OpenAI created its preparedness framework years ago, and it was specifically to identify capabilities that become dangerous enough to require additional safeguards. Now, Astra reportedly crossed this critical cybersecurity threshold. So think about progression like this. You have level one, and level one is, hey, tell me how this vulnerability works. Level two would be, help me write code that exploits this vulnerability. And here's the objective: figure everything else out. That's the level after level two. Here's the objective: figure everything else out. Now, the final category is what changes the risk. The human becomes less involved in the execution of the actual thing. So Astra didn't hack Hugging Face. Okay, the distinction is really what matters here. The OpenAI model involved in the Hugging Face incident that we talked about back in July was a different model. It's not the same. Now, Astra represents a separate development. Now, that means OpenAI isn't responding to the exact same model doing something weird twice. So I want to make sure that we were clear on that, that it wasn't the same one. They're seeing powerful cyber capabilities come across their model development as they continue to unfold. And OpenAI apparently believes that those capabilities, the capability is serious enough to slow development before Astra reaches the public. It's just kind of interesting and scary at the same time, if I'm being honest. I don't know how to think about it. So just a quick rundown here. Mid-July, right? When it comes to OpenAI, they were an unreleased OpenAI model broke containment during cybersecurity testing and then breached Hugging Face. July 30th, Anthropic disclosed incidents involving its models during security testing against multiple companies. August 7th, KIMI, I don't know if y'all are familiar, but researchers reported another cybersecurity testing incident involving a Chinese AI model, Kimi. August 7th as well, OpenAI Astra announced OpenAI announced that Astra reached its critical cybersecurity threshold and adds stronger controls. So, y'all, I don't know. These are 4 disclosures in about 2 weeks, and it's starting to look like an industry problem that we should be paying attention to. If I'm being honest, that's a lot. It's a lot, especially when you can't contain it. What happens when, oh snap, we let it out the box
and the gun.
Hey, and then it's over. So I don't know, y'all. With this one right here, obviously safety has a cost. So they have 2 choices here. They can slow down and add safeguards, or they can keep pushing because Anthropic, Google, XAI, and these Chinese AI labs, right? They're all racing right behind them. So it's really, it's like, okay, do we keep going or do we slow this thing down and add safeguards and just become the safe one and not keep pushing forward? You know what they're going to do. I don't even have to say it. Y'all know exactly what they're going to do, right? Because like I mentioned, safety has a cost, and that cost is time. Okay. AI race, it ain't slowing down for nobody. And time could mean billions of dollars in their cases, when you think about what they're doing here. So I don't know, y'all. A direct quote from them: "This model became more capable than we're comfortable releasing." All right. So that's what we're seeing there. I don't know. I don't want to keep going. I could, but anyways, what we need to know is these companies that are deploying these autonomous agents, they're going to need people that are responsible for AI governance, agent observability, cybersecurity, audit trails, human escalation, risk management, AI compliance, and red teaming. Like, these are all career opportunities that are hiding inside of stories like this. So if that's something that you're interested in, you probably could start aligning yourself inside of some of those to, make your way in. So we talked about the rise of the AI managers and the workforce orchestrator like a while back. And this is just another version of that coming role. So, the people responsible for watching what the AI is actually doing. That's what I'm talking about on that piece. But yeah, man, what do y'all think about this? I don't know. It's scary and interesting at the same time. I'm hiding behind the cover, but I'm also peeking,
over the sheets,
trying to see, man.
Yeah, absolutely, y'all. We're gonna go to the comment section. Appreciate Kenny Cosplay that says basically Kenny Cosplay in 1984 says AI sucks. Uh, that
Need some clarity. Need
yeah,
some
he has
clarity,
AI
Kenny.
sucks. I think he's thinking. Well, I can't put any words in your mouth. Okay, let us know in the comment section. We got, of course, Tech Coach Ralph, who said another great marketing tactic by OpenAI. I love to see the full prompt they gave the model, and if they specifically told it that it can't leave the sandbox environment. It also says the oblivious news. People believe that a sandbox environment has no access to the internet at all. And that's a good point. You know, Sandbox technically does, because then how are the other people going to get connected with that? It's not like an independent server, right? It's not a private server. So yeah, I thought it was very interesting, especially because we had this conversation, not the same exact one, but with the Hugging Face situation. We talked about it, and the lens that question I threw out there to everybody was this one basically is that if an AI agent your company deployed independently causes real harm or potentially can, does the company be held responsible as if a human employee did it? And I think the answer is a resounding yes, in my opinion. And the laws are actually catching up to this. They're not completely there yet, but a couple of things I want to point out to people is that this is something that people are talking about and are working on. And there's different states already that have looked at this. Of course, countries. For example, California, they have a law that took effect actually this year, January 1st, that basically closes off the easiest defense a company could have. It basically says a company cannot argue in court that the AI did it autonomously as a way to avoid liability. So I'm not too sure if they're basically was said. Is OpenAI basically talking about this for marketing purposes? Say, hey, look what we got over here. We're coming for y'all. Or is it something that they're just trying to be transparent because they're like, hey, listen, if something happened, we didn't do it. I mean, like they're trying to get ahead of it. I don't know if that's the case too, even though it was
could be a mix of both, bro.
You know, but I mean, at this point, they might mess around and find one that can deploy itself. You know what I mean? If it, you know what I'm saying, like
that's kind of what happens, bro. Like, you know,
yeah.
The marketing play that Tech Coach Ralph brought up, it made me really think, like, you know, I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. That could be the thing. And yeah, what you just mentioned, that's what happens when, you know how maybe people would have a certain level of relevance and then it goes down in the marketplace and then they just keep doing things more wild and outlandish to try and get back into that place of relevance that they were in, right? Like certain celebrities and stuff like that. Eventually that could be the thing. Like, oh man, it deployed itself. This is crazy, but we stopped it. And like they could just keep going on if that's the marketing play. You know, so but yeah, he had me thinking because it said our unreleased AI has become so powerful that we're slowing it down. That's marketing right there. Like if you think about like over the years and the different companies that do that, they don't have to tell you, like they're telling you without telling, hey, you need to get Astra. It's crazy. That's basically what they're saying without saying it. So yeah, that's some next level stuff if that's what they're doing. Like from all sides too, right? Like you could have investors looking, you know, like, oh snap, that's crazy. The customers, developer, like competition, everybody's like, oh snap, if that's what they're doing there. So yeah, it's that's an interesting thing right there for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely it's definitely one that, like, for example, like question, you know, could they have not said anything? Possibly. I mean, they controlled it. I know there's plenty of companies that don't talk about things that would seemingly be bad press, right?
Oh, dude.
So they definitely trying to control this narrative for some reason. Is it to get more people to sign up and actually say, hey, we're going back to chat? Because like you said, like there's a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of companies that are even switching to Claude or whatever the case may be, and then other people are looking at other different type of models for their personal use. And I think OpenAI, even though they went to that consumer model, I don't know what's the word on the street. Are they really? People are definitely using it. My wife is for sure. She's all sorts of graphics she's creating with that thing. But
Oh yeah,
is it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
is it
Yeah, they
still
use
like,
it.
yeah, people are still using it, but it's just like,
And they just released ads as well. So
oh yeah, so they're making bazooka money, crazy money on that. Yeah, so that's gonna be very interesting, y'all. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. We definitely want to hear about your thoughts on this. Thank you for those that commented, including Kenny Cosplay 1984 and Tech Coach Ralph about about this conversation. We're gonna keep going though. If you have anything else you want to chime in, let us know. But we're gonna really quickly go to our segment that we call the Tech Wire. So the Tech Wire, this is a segment that's brought to you by Secure the Badge. If you go to securethebadge.com, you can definitely go there. I actually spoke to the founder of the Secure the Badge recently, and he's like, yeah, we're going to do a lot more updates there, and he's going to do a lot of more shows that are going to be coming out. But August has a plethora of them. You can definitely want to check it for yourself. Render ATL 2026, a few different ones. If you also are interested in joining the community, there's a price tag to it, but it allows you to get access to these tech events, also the what to do and what not to do at different events, as well as opportunities to sign up for speaking engagement. So go ahead. You could, again, screenshot this, click the link, and you'll be able to access the page to get part of the community, check out different tech events for yourself if this is something that you're interested in. They give out tech events all the time. He's getting more, according to when I spoke to him. So definitely check this out for yourself. And if you want, you can call into the show as we continue to roll this out. Must be 18 years older to do that as well. So yeah. But yeah, let's go into the next segment we got here. We can keep it rolling. This one's interesting. This is talking about something that we have talked about many times, but the hidden cost of AI. The reason why I want to bring this up is because this is not just something that's going to be affecting some people. This is essentially affecting us all, because if you are if you're in an apartment, whatever the case may be, and if you're contributing to the apartment, you're paying an electric bill, right? You're paying an electric bill. So this right here is what we're seeing right now, is that there's a hidden cost in your electricity bill that could go up, especially if you are in the Texas region. So I'm gonna hit this real quick, because Amazon, if you were not aware, they plan to basically have one of the largest data centers ever built, right, in Texas. It's kind of the single largest source of climate pollution actually in the entire United States, which is crazy. So think about it like this: 33 million tons of CO2 the new plant is permitted to emit annually. Amazon's total carbon emission growth last year alone was about 16% plus, and then it's approximately about 2.7 trillion combined long-term infrastructure commitments from Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, and Oracle, and others. They're gonna keep on popping up right now. So what they do basically is that they planned this data center in the Pecos County, a rural part of West Texas, to power it. Basically, it's just buying electricity from the grid. So that's where we're talking about right now. It's building its own natural gas power plant right on site. So the plant alone is meant to release, like I said, 33 million CO2 per year. And to put that in perspective, that would make it the single largest source of climate pollution from any power plant in the entire United States, bigger than an existing coal or gas plant that is currently open right now. So this is a bigger picture. Amazon isn't the only one doing this. As I mentioned the other names before, there's multiple major tech companies that are now backing large natural gas plants specifically to power their own data centers. So data centers are always facing growing political opposition in communities. I mean, they're already facing it in different communities. We talked about Memphis before and other ones as well. Not just over emissions, but over the effect on lower power costs and water usage. That's a big thing too, the water usage there. Even when a company builds its own power plant to avoid straining the grid, the broader trend of massive AI energy demand is still reshaping regional power markets, water tables, and local infrastructure planning nationwide. So this is very big if you're in that neck of the woods. So when it comes to get rid of that. So when it comes to basically this, we got to keep in mind, again, there's a lot of spending that's going on in this space. Amazon, 200 billion in 2026, which is the largest of any of the single companies that I mentioned. Apple or Google, they're around 175 to 185 billion. Meta around 115 to 135 billion. We're talking about B's here, not millions of dollars, B's. And then Microsoft 190 billion that is being spent in this space. So AI doesn't just live in your laptop anymore. We're not talking about it being on your phone. It lives in physical buildings that need massive amounts of electricity, gas, water, and land. So this is something that you definitely need to consider the impact it's going to have on you, and also be aware of what it's going to do. So the question I wanted to ask is, would you want a massive AI data center and its own gas power plant built near your community? Would that change your answer and how you feel about AI? And so I want to definitely throw that out for y'all to talk about, for us to talk about here, and to get your opinion on that.
I don't know. Like, I mean, if there's other incentives and things like that that are going on, then it might be cool. But if not, then maybe not. You know, maybe not maybe not next to me. Which is probably why they're. Where did you say it was going to be at?
Oh, they said Pecos. I think it's pronounced Pecos County, Pecos County, West Texas.
It didn't say it. Oh, it just said West Texas. Okay, yeah. So that's probably why it's in West Texas. I mean, it's not a whole lot. Yeah, I have some family in West Texas, and yes, I mean, long stretches of absolutely nothing in certain spots. So yeah, I mean, that's probably why it's there. Like, not nobody probably wants it right next to them, especially something that big. But you know, it's, if there's incentives, then maybe. But if not, you know, not really. So yeah, what I would say is the one thought to also have around there is, as well, as like, you know, the private power space right there could become one of the solutions to the AI electricity problem. You know, if we're really thinking about it, you know, when we hear with what you just said, Amazon's building a gas plant, obviously all the attention goes to the like the smoke and the emissions that is going to be, you know, pouring out, you know, spilling out. But you also have to look at what it says about, like, what this means for the infrastructure that is building. So, you know, big tech, they got to bring in their own electricity, you know, batteries, solar, natural gas, water infrastructure, like all that kind of stuff that they're going to have to start building. And so that's going to, I mean, AI and that side of the tech industry is going to be building in a lot of, that's going to be a lot of money. So I don't know. We'll see what they end up, like, if it's every company is going to be ended up doing this, if Amazon's just the pioneer, you know, as far as that side. But it's going to be a lot more money than I think a lot of people think about. And so looking to see what that looks like, you know. But technically, it's like off grid, bro. This is, that's out the way. West Texas is out the way.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not that familiar with Texas, so appreciate definitely the.
Listen, man, you can ride about 16, 17 hours straight and still be in Texas, bro.
Yeah,
like just straight driving.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts for sure. But yeah, I definitely wanted to just hit that real quickly, because I was watching a video, and I'm doing so, and I saw some stories about how China, they're going about it, and it's purely on like green energy. They have a bunch of different wind water turbines, and they have fields of solar energy that they're using to help power these data centers that they have. And I'm assuming that, of course, we're trying to do the same. But there's definitely an aversion to, and I think they have laws in place too, right? Also, not saying that I agree with this, but the government owns it all, so they they basically have regulations that they're kind of complying with because it benefits them, you know, in the end. So
yeah, I've been looking at some of those videos too, bro, and it's interesting to see, like, when you look at old videos from China and stuff like that, it used to be smogged out. You know what I mean? Like, sky is brown, and like it used to be real smoggy. Yeah. And now, like, with those, they had, you know, certain mandates around electric vehicles and all this kind of stuff, and bro, it looked pretty clean to me as far as like the air and the atmosphere. Like, They done changed it over the last few years. A couple dozen or so, but yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Listen, y'all, let us know your thoughts about this for sure. We're gonna wanted to get your opinions about it. Let us know. You can even call into the show. The QR code's on the top left. I forgot to ask you though, how was your weekend? I forgot to ask about that.
It was pretty solid, bro. Yeah, it's pretty solid. I didn't really do too much this weekend, but I'm trying to think. I didn't go nowhere. So all I did was that's normal. I went to church on Sunday and got on back to the house. But the weekend, I was creating content and videos and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, got you.
How about yours though?
Man, I think I took my kids to Saturday. Took two of our boys to this thing. It's like a gymnasium for kids called Kid Strong. If you guys are familiar with it, I don't know if they have one in Texas, but basically it's like a place where they could kind of tell them like different model, like basically kind of help them like where they do like almost like what's that show that used to come on Ninja Warrior, where they kind of have them like run around, do different like exercises and things of that nature, and then they have them like do like even public speaking, like, hey, what's your name? Like practice different things to help them build their confidence as well as their physical strength. So my boys love it, and they definitely they were definitely big fans of it. So I took them out to that, and I didn't much this weekend. We hanged out with some friends yesterday, but besides that, it wasn't too crazy. Didn't do too much, y'all. But if you guys have, what do you guys do this weekend? Let us know in the chat. We definitely want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts on that on your weekend were, if you reflected on it at all, and we definitely want to hear from you. Appreciate those that have commented as well. And while you're commenting, we're gonna just jump on another quick topic here. And it's I know we talk about this a lot in different ways, but I think this angle is a different one that I think could really kind of resonate. And I think it's more about the workflow versus AI coming for your job. Now, we had a comment earlier about AI sucks. Hey, I'm not mad at you for thinking that way, especially if it did affect your work or job. But it's also coming for a different, something a little different. It's coming for your workflow. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Trey to share more about that topic.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, over the last few years, when it comes to using AI at work, first of all, you probably didn't have access to it, and then now in the more recent years, okay, you have access to it, and it probably looks a little something like, you ask ChatGPT or Claude a question, it gives you an answer, and then you take that answer and do the work. And what we're slowly starting to see is even that model is also changing a bit. So Meta, they just launched Muse Code, all right, and joining OpenAI's Codex and Anthropic's Claude Code in the race to build AI agents that are capable of completing entire software engineering tasks. So at the same time, some of the biggest companies in AI are working towards shared standards that make it a whole lot easier for these agents to operate across different platforms. So, like they put those together, and then you can see where this is heading. Obviously, like AI is going from like assistance to really, hey, you're delegating, right? Delegating. And so this first one here, Meta, obviously they entered this coding agent space. So they launched Muse Code on August 5th, and this is past the autocomplete, regular degular stuff. Okay, you can give this agent an objective like, hey, add this feature to our application, and then it's going to go do it. The agent can examine code base, figure out what needs changing, plan the work, write the code, test the changes, fix the problems, and then give you the finished work for review. And so basically the developer is continuing to become the person defining the outcome and then checking the work, right? Big manager status on action. So just to show like how quick that market is changing, OpenAI's Codex reportedly already has more than 2 million weekly active users. And that's just OpenAI. Now Meta is trying to get in, right? So that tells me that these big tech companies see that these coding agents are becoming a major space or spot for software development. Now they've been seeing this, but obviously they can see behind the scenes, they can see the numbers, and so they're going to do something about it. Now, because if your agent becomes the place where developers actually work and they like that interface, then you have influence over the entire development workflow when it comes to that, right? Like the more people you get on there that are using, that are sticky, boom. So Meta, they're going in on price. All right. They have another strategy which they can do. Obviously, y'all know who Meta is and who owns it. Excuse me. Muse Code reportedly offers pay as you go pricing that can fall as low as 20 cents per million output tokens for users that are willing to share feedback data. Now, I don't know how many users they're going to get to do that, especially when, that's part of the industry. Those guys, I don't know how many are going to be sharing it, but for that 20 cents per million, they might do it. And so it's interesting, obviously, because AI coding can consume a whole lot of tokens, especially when you start doing some complex stuff. But an agent could inspect hundreds of files, generate code, run tests, read the errors, rewrite the code, and then test everything again. Costs can go up. It can do numbers. So I don't know. Meta doesn't necessarily need Muse Code to immediately be the smartest coding agent. They can release stuff and it just kind of do like this for a little bit, just kind of coast a little bit. But by it being significantly cheaper, they could be enough to get companies to experiment with it, which they already know. I'm sure they did market testing and got that answer, and they're running with it. Now, I don't know. This one right here, it is interesting to me that this is where these companies are also deciding to go. As far as competition, you always want to watch the new technology that's coming out and what people are putting companies are putting their focus to. OpenAI wants to beat Google. Google wants to beat Amazon. Meta wants to beat Anthropic. Eventually, they realize that some infrastructure works better than when everybody agrees on it. And so they're competing at right now at the product layer, that product side piece, while also at the same time going along with each other on the plumbing piece, right? The internal working. So that's a sign that the industry is growing, and it's that, don't get me wrong, they still going against each other. They still have enemies out here in these streets, but interesting to see. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this story here. What we got to start doing, we say it all the time, but continue to do it. Learn a little bit about AI so that AI doesn't replace you. Yes, that is a thing, but also learn how to review AI work. That's important. That's an important piece, because that delegation is going to create a new bottleneck. And if AI agents write 10,000, and I'm talking about people who know this stuff or want to get into this stuff. If an AI agent writes 10,000 lines of code in a evening or afternoon or something like that, somebody still needs to see whether or not those 10,000 lines are secure, accurate, efficient, maintainable, right? Compliant, all of these things. And so actually solving the customer's problem is a big piece of that, and generating work becomes cheaper. So being the judge is now going to be a lot more valuable. So these junior developers, better get on it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest thing. I think this story we want to point out to is like, what's the opportunity for us? What's the opportunity for you? Obviously, I'm more in sales and marketing when it comes to what I do in my job. So there's certain things that I'm like, ooh, that's technical, but I could definitely try to learn. But for those that already have a technical bend, this is something that you could definitely dive in. Cybersecurity is huge. They're going to be AI monitors, and that's the future, right? Is future is you're going to have managers that are basically overseeing AI agents, and depending on how many human agents you have left, they might even oversee them as well. But they're going to have a greater lens on what's going on. We talked about that in the last episode too. And so this is not just a generic AI will take your job story. It's more specific about how this can shape the future of work and what areas you need to grow and develop in. So that's why we want to make sure that you guys are in tune with this and locked in with this. And basically you're rocking with us on that. So Tech Coach Rouse says AI will replace you. People who know how to use AI will replace you. That's what we talk about all the time.
Exactly.
And this is a perfect example of that. Is that, listen, you just got to know how to use it. You got to know how it's going, and be able to be a part of the conversation versus like, hey, I'm a dinosaur and I'm being extinct here. So definitely checking on that. How's the paddle game going, by the way? Tech Coach Ralph, let us know in the comment section. Did you win again, or was this a split match, or did you take the L? Definitely let us know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to just share with that story, because again, there's opportunities everywhere, and we want to make sure that you're able to learn and see exactly what opportunities are out there for you. So if you're a company, which I'm surprised they haven't picked up an AI coding agent yet, the decision is happening right now across the industry. So you want to get ahead of it and see how you can be that person that helps support it versus them firing you to make space for that person's salary. And he said, won the first game in all of my serves, lost the second game 11-8. That's pretty close, though. That's pretty close.
And they're getting to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pickleball, man. It's taking over. There's another pickleball court that I was talking to a friend yesterday about that they just built over by her neck of the woods. And I imagine it is packed. It is packed out for sure. But yeah, y'all. So with that, we're going to go to our brown box special, y'all. The brown box special, if you're not familiar with that, it's basically stories of people that unfortunately either got fired or they quit their job or they were laid off. We have all been there in one way, shape, or form. And so I wanted to share something that I thought was very interesting, because this has something that has happened to somebody in the past. And I thought that it was probably something that we could discuss today that I've heard of at a job that I worked at. Person said, my offer was withdrawn 3 weeks before I joined. How do I move on now? It says, my new organization scheduled a call earlier today in the morning, and I'm supposed to be onboarded in 3 weeks. So I assumed it was an HR check-in of some kind. On joining, they simply told me that they had decided to not proceed with my hiring due to some organizational shifts that has eliminated my role entirely. I thought I did everything right. I only resigned from my current role after I got an offer letter. I had been desperately trying to leave this job for so long, but I waited till I had something in hand. I signed the offer letter. My background verification was done. I had started telling my friends that I'm moving cities. I was looking at places and air ticket prices. I was so happy. I felt so lucky to have something after what I felt like was an eternity. And now here I am. The new organization promised they will compensate me financially, and they will start the legal process next week and will reach out to me on the compensation. And it's not really the financial aspect I'm concerned about. I have enough saved up to get by for a year. But I am concerned that I am out of a job in one of the worst economic periods post-COVID. And I know the longer I am unemployed, the less desirable I will be. And if I left the job I had for nothing, I just feel so stupid and miserable. I reached out to a few friends who promised to circulate my CV. I have panic applied to several roles that I saw, and officially I still have an offer letter to show for, and the withdrawal will only help next week. The withdrawal will only happen next week. So I have 3 weeks essentially to find something. But the stress of having to go through the cycle again is getting me. Sitting for interviews again, going through all the back and forth again. I feel like I'm spiraling. I was planning to host a dinner next week for my friends as a going away party. Dang. How do I even tell them that I don't have anything to celebrate anymore? I feel embarrassed and stupid. And listen, this is This is different. This is different. Good morning, Dark Waters. Good morning, the real Dark Waters. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, no, this.
Appreciate you.
By the way, this story is credit to Reddit. And so it actually was a story I think that the writer posted about maybe 2, 3, 4 days ago. But it's not the first time I've heard about this situation. You sign the offer letter, you're getting ready to pack your stuff, you're even moving other states, and then not too long afterwards, they're like, "Hey, we made a mistake. We don't your role doesn't exist anymore." It's like, wait a second. I left my last job. I told my family and friends, I'm actually my bags are packed. My boxes are packed. My bed is not even, it's in the shipping yard. It's like, it's about to be like heading out. And it reminds me of something I heard recently from somebody that I work with who's a leader in the company. He's like, listen, you got to do what's best for you because the business will do what's best for the business. And it made me think about the business or the company as this entity of itself that will move the tides however it sees fit, in spite of the relationships that you have within the company, or in spite of the cachet, the internal brand, all of that. Those things help. Don't get me wrong, but if the business has a need, and all of a sudden you're out on luck, basically, if that's the phrasing, right? So have any of you all have ever experienced something like that? Have you seen it for yourself? Let us know in the comment section. I'll pass it over to you, Tech Back Trey.
Oh man, I haven't seen it in real life, but obviously I've heard about it happening. And yeah, I mean the guy or girl, I don't know which one it is, but they gotta. A lot of times, those kind of feelings and stuff like that happen when you've. I don't know how to put it, because I don't. You have to separate like who you are from what you do. You have to separate who you are from where you work, right? If your identity is tied in, I work for Google, you know, if your identity is tied in, I work for Facebook, like you're gonna be jacked up when they decide to move around. And don't get me wrong, yes, you should, maybe love where you work or what you do in some kind of capacity, but when it becomes who you are, you're in trouble. Like that's your identity, you're in trouble. And so for him, when I hear stuff like, I don't know how to tell my friends, I feel like I don't remember what you said that he felt like, but whatever that was,
embarrassed and shamed, he said.
Yeah, like why?
Stupid, embarrassed and stupid.
Yeah, I was about to say it was another one. Yeah, why? Like that was their decision, not yours. Like that wasn't on you. Like they decided to. Now, is it wrong? Big time. Like there's no way you wait that long to let somebody know that, hey, we decided to go in a different direction, or it was a mix up. That's not cool. But at the same time, that's not on you. And I'll be telling everybody, man, you can't believe what they did. Yeah, they did this to me. That's crazy. But also on the other side of that, man, you gotta keep it moving. Like life doesn't give you what you need; it gives you what you deserve, and so you got to go out and deserve the things that you need. Like that part, you didn't deserve that, but right now you need a job, so you gotta go out and try and get another one, because like life is set up like that. Unfortunately, yeah, you gotta go get it. You can't sit around and mope and all that, because if you stay stagnant, what happens to things that are stagnant? They start stinking. They start, rotting. You gotta keep it flowing. You gotta keep it moving. That fresh water going through. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it is unfortunate and tough. But man, look, these jobs, they care about business. It's a business decision. It makes me laugh when I see stuff. These people, they be with these teams, these baseball teams, basketball teams, they be so, on on their side, and then they be mad at the players when certain stuff happen, when they don't realize behind the scenes, man, this is a business decision.
Yeah.
It didn't have nothing to do with what the player wanted, where they wanted to go. Hey man, we'll try and get you over there. They looking at their bottom line and how to get this money off of our books. And so, you know, when that stuff happens, they've been making me laugh when they're mad at the player, and you know, I can't believe they did this. Like,
Yeah.
of course, Kawhi Leonard is taking money under the table, trying to, you know, they not paying him enough.
Yeah.
He got, hey, you're not gonna be able to pay me. Hey, you better give me some property.
Yeah.
But guess what? Now, I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is he's doing what's best for him, because at the end of the day, these businesses, they're gonna do what's best for them as well. So you gotta always be on your side and, you know, play the game. Don't hate the player or the game. Just learn the game.
Yeah. No, I think that you said something, and it made me think about, like, for example, LeBron gets a lot of hate for the decisions that he made. Literally,
Yeah.
South Beach.
You know exactly where I was going. That's what I was going with, bro.
Yeah, like everybody's mad at it, but at the end of the day, he's the one laughing. He's the one that has to be strategic, you know. And if he's really studied LeBron James, like, basketball aside, right? Everybody's like, whatever. You got to think about what this guy has done at a very young age. One thing he's done is he's controlled. He's gotten a brain trust together, his friends, that he will, like, because not all his friends are rolling with them. He's got a select few. You got to think about it. You got a select few, create a brain trust that are able to touch
horsemen.
Yeah, marketing. They will touch security, logistics. They will touch the business of free agency and actually move it. And when you think about it, deep down inside, this man, I can't say I would even be thinking that far ahead at his age. When I'm talking about when he was 18 and 19 and he built these relationships, everything has been strategic. Everything has been strategic to the most part. And so if the roles were reversed, if you were him, and just because he didn't go to your favorite team, if you really think about what he decided to do about certain business decisions and so on and so forth, would you not do the same thing if you had the opportunity? Think about
Most people,
really.
They're not thinking about that, man. They thinking about the team. They thinking about, oh, he's ring chasing. Everybody ring chases because that's what y'all made. That's what y'all made it about. Like, I'm not going to a team to want to lose for what?
Yeah,
that's number one. But number two, I always bring this up because I don't think people, I don't think they focus on it enough. This dude is a billionaire. He is still at the top of the league. They were waiting on his decision before they made the schedules.
Yeah.
That's like big. You wouldn't even be working that hard if you was a 100,000-aire. You'd be done.
Yeah.
Or let me just put 1 million. I'm not even gonna say that low. Like if you was doing 1 million, you'd be done. You're like, oh, you know what? No, I gotta save my knees. I make sure I'm still. This dude is a billionaire and still is playing at elite level. That's it's not something to scoff at, but also at the same time, you gotta realize he didn't have to get paid that amount at Philly. He could have maxed it out, and they would have somebody's team would have gladly paid it. He made the decision for him and his family, and a lot of times, I don't think we look at that enough. Just in our own lives in general. So yeah, you're right, bro. That's exactly what I was talking about.
And not to harp on this too much, congratulations to Teko's route, by the way. He got 11-3.
Yeah.
We should have like
the breaks off of him.
We should have to do like some commentary on the pickleball court while he's playing.
Beat the brakes off of him.
Yeah, no, good shout out to you, brother. That's awesome. But what I was gonna say, like, if you think about it, last year he made a decision to take all the money, right? And basically said, listen, I'm cashing in on whatever the money is because I know y'all don't want to keep me. This year, he's decided to take a super duper pay cut in order to join this team, because to him, it's like, it's not always about the money. That's why we go back to decisions. So sometimes about the legacy and what kind of legacy is he looking to carve out? And so I salute him, man. I salute him.
And I'm going to put this little caveat here. Sometimes it's not about the money. It's not about the legacy. It's about, again, you mentioned it. How is he thinking that far ahead at 18? Y'all don't realize what he's thinking about and how far ahead he's thinking about now. Go and look. The owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. Go and look at what else he owns. Go check that out. It might surprise you. Who knows? Maybe he's trying to become some sort of owner in an NBA team. I don't know. But go and look at like a lot of times people don't think far enough ahead to really see what's possible and alignment and all this kind of things. But yeah. Go see.
Yeah, man. Check that out for yourself. And we thank y'all for rocking with us on this episode. This was good, man. We got Tech Coach Ralph in the building. Like I said, we'll shout y'all out. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Kenny Cosplay 1984. Thank you so much. And the Real Dark Waters. Really appreciate you all for stopping by, sharing your thoughts and opinions with us on this episode of Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world. We'll see y'all next week, baby.